I will always be holding a conversation. I will not let anybody stop talking to me. Like, there will never be a moment of silence. We are going to have fun. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Unhinged, the podcast where we talk all about the dudes, the duds, the dates, all around Charlotte. I'm Savannah Rudisell.
I'm Alicia Quarles. We like to call this Tales from the Trenches, you guys.
That's right. I'm Liza Mahachek. So excited to be here. We're talking all about love and the lack of it. Of course. And one of the places that we find some of these tales from the trenches is on our dating apps. Some people call them trusty, some call them terrible, but you know, I'm full of alliterations today.
You really are. I like it though, Savannah. You're getting it going.
Just trying to get creative with it. But there's such a growing push that you're seeing more and more people talk about meeting someone in real life or IRL. If you don't mind. Yeah. I feel like more people, like everyone is getting off the apps and it kind of gets to the point where it's like, I don't even know where people are meeting anymore. But it also brings up the question of like, do we even know how to meet people in real life anymore? Because everyone relied on apps so much.
It's true, but like it's the art form. The apps are so bad right now. I will say, I'm on Raya, which is not bad. My girlfriend, I was out with her this weekend. She was trying to be Hinge, and I was like, "This is. I'm gonna get off of this now. Abort mission and throw this in the street right now." So no, we got to get back to real life because if that's what's out there online, I don't want it.
Exactly, got to have that human to human connection, and someone who knows a little bit more about connection is our guest today. We have Nikki Davis. She is the founder of Connecting Charlotte. Nikki, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about Connecting Charlotte here, what this group is doing, and how you're helping people kind of get off the app?
Yeah, that's the goal. So we are all about a meeting in real life, like you were saying. I think it's an art form. As you said, it is a little bit difficult. It's a little bit scary. I think especially since we're all now used to the apps, we're used to just that lack of in-person connection. Everything's online. So bringing that back to real life, specifically to the dating scene. We also have some events for friendship and just general connection, but really trying to get off of the apps, at least for one night, have a new experience, have some fun, and meet some new people.
Did you feel like when you started your company, Charlotte singles were in need of this? Like, did you feel like we weren't actually meeting each other in real life?
We're struggling out here.
Let's answer it.
Yes, I've lived in many cities. I will say it's a struggle everywhere for sure. But I would say Charlotte was probably struggling the most.
That's real.
So yes, so that is where it came from. I think I lived in a few other cities where I really experienced in real life dating and didn't have to rely on the apps. And then here, pretty much everyone is 100% reliant on the apps. So there was definitely a need for it for myself, for my friends. So just trying to get out there and meet people in real life.
For speed dating, how do you successfully speed date? Because it's like you walk in there, you're probably going to go through the same number of questions. At least that's how I think a lot of people imagine it. So what's the key to successful speed dating?
I would say having fun, having like open mind. I think that's huge. I think a lot of people come in and they're like, I'm going to meet my soulmate tonight, or you go on a date from Hinge, like this is my soulmate. So having those really high expectations is probably not the way to go. You want to have an open mind, so you have an open heart and have the best intentions for the evening. But I will say in terms of the questions, we do put 2 unique table questions, little conversation starters on every single table.
Oh, nice.
So you don't have to have the same boring conversations each time. So I think that's a little something fun we do too.
Love it. Okay, is there a difference between the caliber of people you're seeing on the apps versus in real life? Or are these the same people? Because I find that in Charlotte, the dating pool is super small.
It is the intentional people. I think that is the biggest differentiator. We've had a few people come back and be like, hey, I met someone. So, for example, I reached out to a couple guys because it was a couple days before, and we're a few guys short. We love to be exactly 50-50 at our events to make it the most successful. So I reached out to, I think, 5 guys, and 2 responded and said they were seeing someone from a Connecting Charlotte event, so that's why they can't go. So I think, and I had reached out to them because I thought that they had seemed very intentional and kind and like a good guy. And yeah, so correct. So I think we're really seeing the intentional people and the people who are ready for an actual relationship and not just swiping and wasting everyone's time on that.
Is that something that you have a difficult time with, is getting that 50-50 ratio? Do you have more women or men? I think there's kind of a perception that women tend to be more intentional.
Yeah, I will say almost all of our events are exactly 50-50. We always sell 50-50. Of course, you can't if somebody no-shows that day, we might be off by a couple. But generally we sell 50-50. In terms of trends, women definitely are the planners. They buy in advance, and then I'm a little stressed out all the time because guys buy a lot more last minute, but we always end up being 50-50.
So what's the biggest mistake that you see a lot of people doing in terms of dating in the 20s, 30s, 40s? Like, what are the kind of things that our generations are kind of messing up? I feel like there's a lot of
girl. That's a good question. That's a good question, Liza.
Yeah. I would say something that probably the dating apps definitely hindered is the intentionality, but less like checking boxes. I think the dating app filters, for example, you want someone that's this height, that looks like this, that has this kind of job, that XYZ, right? The list goes on. We all have our filters. But I think a lot of times, like, y'all probably have had this experience where maybe one of your friends, they had a type for 5 years, 10 years. Everyone looked the same. Everyone acted the same. They were all an athlete. Something about them was kind of their type. And then and then now the person that they're married to or seeing is completely the opposite of their type and absolutely perfect for them. So I think having that open mind and relying less on check boxes, of course, having standards and expectations, but not those really specific, narrow-minded expectations for a person.
Should we, as women, in your opinion, approach men? And if we do, how do we do it? Because I don't approach men.
Alicia, this one time, this is so funny. We were talking about this guy that Alicia thought was cute, and then some guys from our morning team were like, Alicia, you should just go up and say something. And then she was like, what would I say? What would I say? How would I even talk to him? So, like, but I do think it's hard because, like, as women, you aren't taught to, like, flex that muscle. So I do understand.
Thank you.
I'll give you grace, though, Alicia. I'll give you grace.
Yeah. It's shy.
Oh, that's a tough one. I am definitely pro chivalry, so that might be a little old school. I
feel
personally, I also wouldn't know what to do if I was asked to approach a man. I'd be like, I would glitch. No way. But I do have a lot of friends who are confident. Will go up to anyone, ask for their number, like
Savannah.
Easy peasy. And they successfully meet people that way. So I would say I am definitely not a good example of that.
Sure.
But I think whatever you're comfortable with. But I think on both sides of the gender, I think people really have a hard time like going after people in real life now. Because I've noticed I don't know if it's location-wise, time-wise, post-COVID-wise, but I think people really lack that ability or that confidence to go up and even if it's just a compliment or saying hi or asking for someone's name is really tough.
Definitely.
I wonder if it's because, on social media, I think that there are a lot of horror stories that are now shared. And a lot of times I think that, from my guy friends, I hear them, they're like, I don't want to come off as creepy.
Right.
And that's the thing is that it's like so hard, I think, where it's like you have this fine line where if you want to approach somebody, first of all, you're scared that you're going to be shot down.
Yes.
You're scared that you could end up being somebody like that someone talks about on TikTok where they're like, oh my gosh, this person approached me. But also then you don't want to come off as creepy even though you're trying to be well-intentioned.
Or you're just shy. Like for our jobs, you would never think that, but I'm actually very shy. So I don't know how to talk to anybody like real life.
No, for real.
You know I don't, Liza.
I think I would be more comfortable, though, if I was at an event where I know everyone there is at least looking. Not everyone there is interested in me, but everyone there is at least open to talking
1,000%
to me.
What's the number one thing that you see as a dating expert people do wrong? Like, say you get the guy or girl and you go on the first date and all's going well, and then suddenly it goes left.
I would say not asking questions about the other person. I think a lot of times people love to talk about themselves, as we all do. I'm a yapper as well, but then you have to return the question. So I think specifically I hear this a lot from my girlfriends when they go on a date with a guy and they're like, I don't think you asked me one question about myself. Like we talked the whole time. We had a great conversation and I know so much about him and I don't think he knows anything about me. And I know that happens both ways. But making sure you're like confident, but also curious. Like ask them about themselves, ask them what they're passionate about, ask them those real questions, not just how many siblings do you have and what do you do for work, but really like, what is your personality like? What would a life with you look like? What would a day with you look like? So I think trying to ask those really intentional questions and being open-minded as well.
No, for all of us, like as all yappers and well-spoken, do you guys ever wonder or feel like you go into interview mode on a date?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do big time. But you guys, let's save that for our next segment because we've got to go to break. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Unhinged. We've got more about dating in real life, and we were just talking about the experience of going on a date and perhaps going into interview mode. I know for me, I'm always going to have a good time on a date because I will always be holding a conversation. I will not let anybody stop talking to me. Like, there will never be a moment of silence. We are going to have fun. But yeah, so we were talking about this. What do you guys think? Do you think that you often end up in an interview mode where you're really steering the conversation for the majority of it?
I've done that for sure. Like this guy I was talking to a couple of years ago. We didn't even get to date one because I overtalked this man on the phone so much. No, I did. It was out of nerves. I was just talking. An hour later, he's like, "Oh yes, I'm not gonna be able to make that date." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, so yes, I've been there, done that. Now I'm more quiet."
Yeah, I've kind of gotten there too, where I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be interested. Like you were saying, Nikki, I'm trying to be curious about somebody, but sometimes just like the natural curiosity comes off as intense.
Yeah.
To some people. I don't know. I mean, you're so out there, right? You're very outgoing. How do you handle like someone who may not match your energy level?
Oh, I mean, I'm a grade A yapper as well, so I feel like I'll have fun on any date because I can talk to a wall. Like, we'll talk about my dog, we'll talk about whatever. But that's not necessarily like a good or successful date where you're mutually meeting each other. So I would say open-ended questions are probably like a good thing for all of us in this room and outside of this room. But instead of what are you passionate about questions, for example, instead of what do you do for work? What are some goals you're working on? Work might come up, their personal life might come up, their physical fitness or emotional health might come up. There's like so many other conversations that can go based on that one question. So I would say maybe like having your list of a few questions, not necessarily an interview style, but really open-ended questions that can lead to cool things you can uncover about one another.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lisa.
Is there a great place in Charlotte, like unusual to meet men or women, whatever you're into? For example, my girlfriends were telling me the grocery store like at 7 p.m. They're right.
True. The Harris Teeter bar.
Harris Teeter.
Apparently.
Okay.
What?
Yes.
Apparently.
What? Yes. 1,000%. Especially men in my age group, like in the 40s. I have seen so many hot single men because they don't have a ring on.
Grocery
I'm too afraid to. Yes, girl. And it can tell you a whole lot. Do they have organic food? Are they eating fattening food? Do they have beer? Do they have wine?
Also, Home Depot is another place where people are like, I'm going and posting up at the Lowe's and the Home Depot. Now, I don't know if this is working, but people are saying that they're doing it. And you could go stand in an aisle and look a little confused.
So, Nikki, are we correct as the expert, Liza and I? Her mind's blown.
Yes, I would say yes. And I would have agreed with you, Savannah, on the grocery store. Yeah. I think I was going at the wrong time. I went a couple weeks ago to the Plaza Midwood Harris Teeter. I guess Harris Teeter is where it's at about like 7 p.m. on a Friday. Yep, okay. And I think those people, like grabbing a snack for a party or a bottle of wine for something they're about to go to.
Yep,
the Charlotte Elite were there. I was impressed.
I went yesterday after a shoot to that Harris Teeter you're talking about. They were left and right and center, but I was too shy to talk to them, but they were there.
Yes. I also feel like the airport actually could kind of be a good place because here's the thing. You're sitting on a plane with each other and everybody talks about this. Everyone has an airport crush.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Let's be so real.
Yep. Sure.
You're walking, when you're single, okay? You're walking through the airport. You see somebody who's remotely your age. Also, they probably aren't your typical like standard. It's just like they're in my age group and they look like they're single. I wonder if they are.
That's right.
I feel like that is an actual thing. I think we just need to have an open mind and approach things where you're actually trying to have connections in a lot of places. Even an elevator. There's so many.
No, girl, that's you. No,
right.
Not
that is.
No,
that is.
Too far. Don't talk to me in an elevator. No.
Right. But there are specific places, Nikki, like you got set up with speed dating events, right? There are still dating events out here in Charlotte. When we were talking to some of our coworkers about doing this, they there's no way you're talking about speed dating. Like that's ancient. And
we're back.
It's not.
We're back.
We are so back.
Okay, so speaking of ancient, Nikki, what's up with these services having an age limit? Because I usually age out of that.
Fair. Well, we can do a little call out on the men. You know how I said that men usually buy tickets like a little bit later, make you a little stressed out? 40 plus men, call out if anyone's listening. Please join our wait list or reach out to me. So we have so many amazing women, 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus, that are looking for love and want to meet people in real life in a safe fun environment like this, and we can't find enough guys.
Oh my gosh.
So that is why we do the age ranges that go above 40 a little bit less frequently, but I would love to do them more because there are so many amazing people that are interested. We just have to do them a little bit less frequently.
The later daters. Later
daters.
Yes, I'm nervous. So we've been trying to market accordingly to get some more men in those age ranges for you.
Nice. I mean, it can kind of be intimidating, the thought of speed dating. That is, not only do you have to make a first impression as you do when you go on dates, but quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so we were just talking like interview style. This almost has to be efficient interview.
Yeah, a little bit. But I think, so in my little intro speech beforehand, I always tell people like it's quick so that it's not long enough where it could possibly get awkward because it's 6 months of your life. But also it is long enough to see if there's a spark. Are you going to know everything about them? Are you going to see if they check every single one of your boxes? No. But are they attractive? Can they hold a conversation? Do they make you feel positive about yourself? Those kind of like baseline, open-minded things that every single person that you should connect with, whether it's for friends or dating, should have a few of those qualities. And then from there, you can have a longer than 6-minute date and see if that spark is still there.
Nikki, what's like one of the stories, success stories that you're most proud of?
Ooh, I would say, I know this is like, we're talking about singles, but one of my favorite things was the Fast Friends, which we do, which is a friendship seeking event version of speed dating. And there were so many girls that I saw at another event that met at the Fast Friends speed dating event.
Cool.
And then I also always see people on first dates, like if I'm out, a couple of days after with some friends after an event. And then I'll see some little dates that I'm like, oh, wait, like.
I know that.
I
know that.
So, yeah, it makes me feel like a little matchmaker. We haven't had anyone want to go public yet. I'm trying to get some, like, little testimonials, but there are people who have been dating over 6 months, like, multiple relationships that have come from this.
Love.
So I know I can't speak to that, my little NDA. But yeah, that is definitely, I'm just proud of all the connections, really.
That's
and
cool.
then showing up.
I mean, it's also friendships, like you said, but I think that also the other thing is that good relationships also can start from friendships.
Mm-hmm.
So, between the two, the friendship speed dating and the, romantic speed dating, what are the big kind of ties that you see between the two, the similarities and the differences?
I will say when we have the Fast Friends for females, it's really, I have to ring a cowbell in between each. And usually people like get up, they'll kind of wrap up their conversations, get up, move to the next table. I got to ring that thing for 5 minutes at the girlies. The girlies love to yap, as we can see in this podcast. But I would say that's kind of like a funny one. But in terms of the similarities, I think people having that open mind, like I keep talking about, like asking good questions, body language, like having open body language, not having your arms crossed, because you only have 6 minutes to make an impression. So those little things I think really add up and are important, whether that's you're looking for friends or a little crush.
Oh, I cry.
You said you've lived in other cities and said it is hard to date in these Charlotte streets. Why is Charlotte so difficult to date, in your opinion?
I have not figured that out yet. I'll let you know.
Okay. That's our goal. That's our goal with this.
Yeah. I don't know if it's for me, if it's like that I've reached a different age, that it's a different city culturally, like West Coast versus East Coast versus South. I think there are so many differences that it's hard to say.
Yeah.
But I will say that like post-COVID landscape and people don't know how to act. Their reliance on that. Myself included. I don't know how to act either. And kind of that reliance on apps or technology to make a connection first. So that lack of like confidence, I think, is tough. But yeah, I would say, I don't know if that's necessarily Charlotte specific. I know there's a lot of transplants in Charlotte, so I think that could be part of it too. Like everyone's kind of mixed together with lots of different like cultures, backgrounds, just types of people from all over the country.
Well, Nikki, we want to thank you so much. You dropped so much knowledge. Tell us again, like how people can get in touch with you.
Yeah, so connectingcharlotte.com or any of our socials are at connectingcharlotte, all one word.
We're going to have to all come and go speed dating.
Yeah.
And do all of that. We'll do the friend dating, the
things.
dating.
Let's do it.
All of it.
Save us a spot.
We'll do, always.
So much.
Thank you.
Unhinged will be right back after this.
Welcome back to Unhinged. It's a new year, new you. The three of us are going to talk about our relationship goals, set our affirmations for 2026. Savvy, you're first.
Oh, yay, me first. Okay, perfect. No, I would say one of my dating resolutions for this new year would be to be more direct.
Oh.
That is some issues that I have definitely had on my side. I'm, certainly happy to share all the silly little missteps that people I have been on dates with have made that make for fun stories. But truly, like, takes two to tango, right? So I really want to address some things where sometimes I feel like I can be protective of people's feelings while not necessarily saying what I want to say. For example, like if I'm really trying to say like, yeah, that really bothered me, but I'm like, no, it's okay. It's okay.
That's so Midwest to you. Yeah,
It's so true.
It's a little bit that. And I have so much more success when I am just more direct.
Yeah.
I like that. Liza, what about you?
I think honestly, I mean, being out of I'm like 6-7 months out of a relationship. And so I think right now, I think people are really quick to like jump back into something new.
Oh, yeah.
And I really want to not. I'm like, stay in the way. But I think that I just want to, there's only so much time in life when you are, single.
Yep.
Like you can be married for the rest of your life.
That's true.
I think that right now I kind of want to get to know myself better. And
Date
which is what I've been
yourself,
trying
date
to.
yourself,
I'm dating myself.
Maha.
That's right. But I think that it's really easy to then be like kind of pining after someone else or trying to find yourself when you're with somebody else.
Yeah.
So
But I really want to, get to know who I am. I think it's easy to lose yourself in a relationship. And so I want to like find the parts of me that were lost before.
Yeah.
And also if I do start dating, I just want to show up as like the most authentic version of myself, where it's not like you're trying to figure out what their humor is and like, cater to them, but like being like, oh, well, here's how I am. And if you don't like it, then that's just kind of like, this is who I am. So got to deal with it.
Yeah. Seriously, us Midwestern girlies, like it might be that. It might be our astrology signs. It might,
Exactly. It might be the people pleasing just innately
a lot
in
of
our hearts and souls.
But yeah, I'm the same. Like I've now started. So again, I'm like working on it, but started like early on in the text, like sending the memes I want to send, even if like they're not. It's like kind of testy. Like I don't know if it's really gonna
say this as the mama of the group. I'm so impressed with your generation. This is not belittling. This is real because you guys really like are introspective. You've been therapized. You've taken your time.
So true.
You've been therapized. You're working on yourself. So I think that's really cool.
So much so.
Alicia, your goals?
Yeah.
My goals, honestly, I always joke about dating, but I have not wanted to date. I have not cared to date.
Yeah.
But now I am ready, you guys. Like I'm really like ready to put myself out there. And I guess, Liza, to your point, I was like happily single. I've been happily single. Like you'd have to be an amazing person to come into my life. But now I'm ready for that amazing person. I've been sitting with myself. I've been chilling. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'll date you, Tom. Maybe. But you got to approach me.
I was, Alicia and I have been talking about this for months. Yeah. We need to set up her Hinge profile. Because Raya, yeah, okay, whatever. But these people, Raya, like that's people from all over. When it's Hinge, it's like, these are like direct matches.
I'm afraid of Hinge.
I know, I understand. But actually, I think that Hinge is the app where people actually go to date. So if you want to go on actual
How's the
dates,
caliber? Because my friend Kate, she showed me her Hinge, and I was
that's
like,
true.
This is
but sometimes you just got to keep on swiping, and you just got to dig a little bit because there are good people in there.
Okay, set me up, girls.
Yeah,
set me up.
Do that.
I think we should make your profile.
Okay, then I'm gonna let you guys do it. Okay.
So is that another resolution? Another resolution.
My resolution for the new year is to make Alicia that profile.
That's good friends.
Absolutely. I think I also want, like something concrete, right? Maybe not numerical. Maybe I want one date a month, but like, no, I think I want to also do like fun dates.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to, and if a date doesn't sound fun,
you don't need to do it.
I'm gonna say no or offer an alternative.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that.
I mean, I feel like there's so much more to life than going and just getting drinks.
There is. Part of our jobs, we cover it, you guys. Like, we know there's cool stuff out there. Let's go do it.
Yeah. That is, two of you put out some of the best content of like, you guys bored in Charlotte? I'd like, objectively, I stalk your social media. Like, I hate to say it, I do. I stalk the social media for Positively Charlotte if I'm ever looking for something to do.
There are so many also really good date spots too, because that's the thing is that So I feel like when is the time to go on like the activity date? Do you feel like I feel like you gotta be sitting down looking.
Yep.
I don't think you can go for, I've talked about this where like I think that one of the perfect dates to do is a picnic at the airport overlook.
I think that's you got to be into that person.
Well, I feel like that's at least like date 4 or 5.
Yeah, yeah, you got to be into that. Okay, so we'll have more on that and so much more on Unhinged, you guys. It's just getting started. Because our love lives are just getting started. Apparently,
they're right on the ground. They're on the ground.
We're in the gutter right now.
From here, right. Thank you so much for joining us this week, you guys. Had a blast. Hope to catch you guys next time around.
Bye.
Bye.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.